what does an impeachment process entail? The impeachment of a serving governor, elected, if I must add. It's a very difficult task because you know that this person has been elected by a majority of people, and now you would have to impeach that person for certain reasons that perhaps they might have breached certain laws that considers that would now warrant that impeachment. And this morning I will be having this conversation with a legal practitioner and a former council chairman, so I'm pretty sure he understands the whole context of this. Philip Okparaji, sir, you're welcome and good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, and good morning to Rivers people.
Right, so it is said that the process of impeaching a governor is stringent and very strict. The Nigerian Constitution provides for how this works, and the process of impeaching the governor of a state is contained in Section 188 of the 1999 Constitution. So there are various steps to it. We are going to allow my guests to do justice to a few of them, because I was looking at some of these steps too myself, and I'm saying, well, over 11 different steps that would have to be taken before you arrive at a decision to impeach a governor. Well, the last time we saw an impeachment, I think, was in 2005, if I remember. That was in Bayelsa State. I know Alamesia, the former governor, was impeached at that time. Tell us, what offenses can a governor commit that would warrant for an impeachment? First.
Well, just like you said, the removal of a governor or a deputy governor is in accordance with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, in Section 188. And that section specifically said, removal of governor or deputy governor from office is in accordance with this relevant section, not any state law. Like I said the other day, the House of Assembly has a right to make law. But for you to remove a governor is in accordance with this constitution, the provision of this constitution. And what has the governor actually done? They need to specify that the governor have done this, done that, done this, done that. Violation of the constitution.
Are these things, let's put it in proper context. We know that we have state laws. Is it an impeachable offense if the governor perhaps infringes on certain state laws? We heard the lawmaker, Speaker of the House, mentioned some of the appointments made outside the law. Are those things impeachable offenses, or are there certain things that should be done? In the case of Alamisi at the time, there were cases of allegations of money laundering, theft, abuse of...
Has that been said about our own governor? No. They have not said anything in respect of money or abuse of office. Say appointment. What are the appointments? Let Rivers people know that these are the appointments that is against the law, and the governor went ahead to appoint so person.
But an appointment is an appointment, in quote, for the purposes of the conversation, an appointment in quote seen as outside the due process. Is that an impeachable offense?
For example, in 1980, the former governor of Kaduna State, late Balarabe Musa, was removed from office upon his failure to appoint commissioners, or the House of Assembly failure to screen commissioners, and was removed. But in this case, the governor have sent a list of commissioners. They were screened by the House of Assembly and they were appointed. So tell us the specific appointment you think the governor is doing. Is it the appointment of the acting chairman of the Local Government Service Commission? Is it against the law? Or whatever appointment? Tell people.
What about his aides? We know that recently we had certain aides and social advisors that the governor appointed.
They were approved.
Are those constitutional?
They were approved by the House of Assembly.
Okay, but
before the governor appointed them. I'm not here speaking on behalf of the state, but I think they were screened by the House of Assembly and they were duly appointed by the governor. If there is any impeachable offense,
yes,
it's under Section 188,
What would be that offense? That's, I think
that is what we need to look at it.
Okay, let's find out what are the offenses that a governor would commit that would be seen as an impeachable offense. Because for some people, to talk about appointment and then how many these offenses, is this something that you commit once and then the next thing is we have to impeach you?
What we saw here, we can say gross misconduct. What is gross misconduct?
Exactly.
The Constitution went ahead to explain by itself. Say gross misconduct means a grave violation or breach of the Constitution, of the provision of this Constitution. What are that?
That's the Constitution of the Federal Republic. Not state laws.
Not state law. He said, I'll quote it again, under section 188, sub 11. He said, gross misconduct means a grave violation or breach of the provision of this Constitution. So what is that? We need to know. What is that? What has the governor done? I think at this stage, in our state, the House of Assembly members need to work with the governor for the development and peace of the state. And not by coming out every day, you want to issue a press statement, you want to threaten, they should advise the governor, they should do this. No! Let's work in unity.
He also mentioned the peace deal. The peace agreement.
8-point peace deal.
Yes.
Governor have implemented over 90% of that.
Yeah,
that was signed.
Last time I spoke
with the president.
I spoke with the former PDP chairman in the state. He said one was what was left, to the best of his knowledge. One of those that's yet to be implemented. And there are also those who make the argument that on the part of the Speaker of the House and the Assembly members, they have also not implemented some parts, I think one as well, of their own part of the agreement. But in the totality of it is to look at that peace deal and the argument of the constitutionality of it and whether that not implementing that in its entirety, because the president also said there could be consequences if you do not implement this. Does that consequence mean the threat of impeachment that we are seeing? Does it in any way connect to why we would see the governor being impeached?
I don't think. The peace agreement is something that arose in the presidency. And the president said, look, you need to sign this 8-point peace agreement for the peace and development of... And the governor graciously signed as a man of peace. And to a large extent, if you are implementing an agreement, it's process by process, process by process. And up to, as I speak to you, 90% of that agreement have been implemented by the Rivers State government. So what we need, our honorable member, we're all from Rivers State. They were duly elected, but they have decamped. They are defected from the party that brought them under section 109. So G, you can look at it. And their matter, I don't want to talk about it because it's coming up on April 26th at the Federal High Court. So what we need at this time in Rivers State is to work in synergy with the governor for the development of Rivers State.
All right, run us through the process of impeaching a governor. So how does this work? What are some of the things that need to be put in place? How do we go about it? How does the whole process exercise work? And is there a duration?
188.
Yeah.
Sub 2 said, whenever a notice of any allegation in writing signed by not less than 1/3 of the members of the House of Assembly, A, is presented to the Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly or the Speaker of Assembly of the state, stating that the holder of such office is guilty of gross misconduct. So what is gross misconduct?
Emphasis on gross.
Yes, gross misconduct. So what is
gross
misconduct?
It has to be a misconduct that's really undeniable.
So what are those gross misconducts? That is what Rivers people want to know. What are those gross misconducts?
So after a third of the House signed this and it's presented and looked at, what comes next?
What comes next is that the Speaker of the House of Assembly shall within 7 days of the receipt of the notice cause a copy of the notice to be served on the holder of the office and on each member of the House of Assembly, and shall also cause any statement made in reply to the allegation by the holder of the office to be served on each member of the House of Assembly. Then 1883, within 14 days of the presentation of the notice to the Speaker of the House of Assembly, whether or not any statement was made by the holder of the office in reply to the allegation contained in the notice, the House of Assembly shall resolve by motion without any debate whether or not the allegation shall be investigated. Now, if you go down, 4, a motion of the House of Assembly that the allegation be investigated shall not be declared as having been passed unless it is supported by the vote of not less than 2/3 majority of all the members of the House of Assembly. Now, 1885 said, within 7 days of the passing of a motion under the foregoing provisions of this session, the Chief Judge of the state shall, at the request of the Speaker of the House of Assembly, appoint a panel of 7 persons who, in his opinion, are of unquestionable integrity, not being members of any public service, legislative house, or political party, to investigate the allegation.
This is where we would pause now.
Yes, as provided.
Yeah, because that now the steps from 1 to 5. Now,
yes.
Is there a time frame? I know some of them stipulated 14 days, but between step 1 and step 3, where the governor replies the House, before then we now say, oh, there's a 14 days time frame. Is there seem not to be mention of any time frame, because for some people, that even if we begin the process of an impeachment, it could carry on for the duration of the governor's tenure.
Yes,
that's what some other people have alluded to, and questioned also putting up a panel of people who cannot be members of any public service, legislative house, or political party. I mean, is that doable in Rivers State at the moment?
Well, I think it's not.
Is it possible to have that kind of a panel in Rivers State at the moment?
For what has this governor done? That is the question we are asking. Rivers people are asking. What have the governor done? You get what we are asking? We are asking, Rivers people are asking, what has the governor done? What are the gross misconducts that are impeachable offense that the governor have committed? That is what we want to know.
All right.
Rivers need peace, and the man there as the governor is a man of peace. Rivers need development, and the man there is a man that believe and mean well for the people of Rivers in terms of development. You can hear the other day, a holder Omok Road. What do they want the governor to do?
Okay, we have a commercial coming, but when we return, you'd respond to this. What do you think then is the grouse? What's the problem really that's causing this infraction, this fraction in the relationship between the executive and the legislative arms of government? We'll get your response to that when we return. On Facebook, Nigeria Info 92.3 PH was streaming, answered the question, how do you describe the impeachment threats by Speaker of the State Assembly?
There is a gathering that
Andrew, my guest, a legal practitioner, Philip Okparaji, and also a former council chairman. We're asking you, how do you describe the impeachment threats by the Speaker of the State Assembly? He says it could be last resort if the governor allegedly continues to violate the laws of the state, of the land. We've been looking at what the Constitution says, what laws and what misconduct can amount to an impeachable offense. And you've heard from my guest. Let's get your thoughts on Facebook. If you haven't joined us, you can simply do so. Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. That is the handle. You can watch, listen, and drop your opinion online. Don't forget to also share. Let me come back to you, Mr. Phillips. So before the break, I was asking, what could be the grouse? What is the issue between the executive and legislative? We know legislative arm of government. We know that there is the 8-point peace deal, and one of those demands there was to represent the budget. Could that be one of the things that perhaps is still could that still be the elephant in the room, the representation of the budget? Or is there some constitutional position to presenting the budget?
I think the members of the House of Assembly know what is their own problem or what is the issue with the governor. But let me say it, the issue of budget presentation, I think the governor have done the needful. The governor have presented the budget, and the budget have been duly passed. 2024 budget of Rivers State.
How so? Because some people would say, well, the House was not in whole, or the House did not have majority of the members present, and etc., etc.
The law is that when you defect from a political party that brought you to the House, what then happened? As of the presentation of the budget, there was a duly elected speaker that presided over the sitting, and the governor duly presented the budget.
But if you defect, citing issues in the party that brought you,
there was no issue.
It is recognized by the law.
Let me not speak on that. There was no issue at the PDP national level. Look at section 109 sub G. What does it say? When you defect from your party that brought you, you are no more a member. Supreme Court have given judgment to that effect in Ondo State, in Cross River State. 22 members of the House of Assembly defected from PDP. Their seat was on. Their seat was declared vacant. In the Ondo, a Labour Party member defected to APC. What then happened? The case went up to Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court gave a ruling that the moment you defect from a political party that brought you,
without properly stating that there was a problem in that party.
Problem.
Well, but that's also was captured in the Constitution as well. If there is a problem and you state that you were able to prove that there was something, certain positions, national publicity secretary, the issue of the national chairman.
Let me take you to 109.
Okay.
G. Being a person whose election to the House of Assembly was sponsored by a political party, he become a member of another political party before the expiration of the period for which that house was elected. Does the Constitution say there is a problem in your party before? What party? What problem? What was the confusion? In PDP, was there a problem in PDP that we didn't all know, or members of PDP didn't know? Or you choose to defect to another political party? And the Constitution is very, very explicit on this. Look at it. 109 G. You have defected from a party that brought you to another political party. Do you still think you can still hold your seat? I think the case is left for the court.
So in your opinion, because of that defection, presenting the budget to the other members, I think about 4 members of the House, would be considered as majority.
Whatever number was the budget, was there a speaker as of the time the budget was presented? And I'll say yes, that was a speaker. Irrespective of the number, the budget was duly presented.
And you don't think that this particular issue we're just conversating on now could be responsible for, or one of the reasons for why we still have this grasp? Because it is part of that deal that's supposed to be implemented.
I may not know what are their grasp with His Excellency. I may not know. But I'm talking from the legal point of view. That is what I'm talking. And I'm standing on the legal point of view that the budget has been presented. And the budget cannot be represented again.
Is that unconstitutional?
Obviously.
Is it stipulated in the Constitution that the appropriation bill cannot be presented twice?
Where is it stated?
That's what I'm asking. If it's stated.
What I'm telling you is that the budget, the question we need to answer, has Rivers State government presented 2024 appropriation bill? And the answer is in the affirmative.
Can it present the bill again?
That is the question.
That's
Maybe that is what they are thinking.
I'm asking.
You
are a legal practitioner.
We have not
Does
seen
the
any law
Constitution
backing.
say that it is wrong for the governor to represent the appropriation bill to
Thank God
House?
You're quoting. You're coming to law. You say the law says
Does
it's
it say?
wrong.
No, I'm saying, does the law say that it is wrong? It's a question. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I might not have all the knowledge.
Well, what we're saying is that His Excellency has presented the appropriation bill of 2024. It has been passed into law. It has been passed. So how do you want it to represent the budget again? For those who have defected from the political party that brought them to the House of Assembly? How?
All right. How do you describe the impeachment threats by the Speaker of the State Assembly? That's the question we put up there on Facebook, and we need you to respond to us and tell us more. Gilbert Uchenna Waneri on Facebook says, we all know the Assembly is fighting a lost cause. If I were them, I would seek the olive branch on the part of the governor. It should look for a way to mend fences with its benefactor. Pedro Bry says, a court of law nullified the budget presentation by the governor. Okay. I was also going to ask that. Thank you, Pedro, for bringing that to my memory. We also had that. There's been plenty of conversations. I mean, some people argued that if we were to go by what the Constitution says in 199, if I'm not mistaken, 119, 188.
Then 109.
109, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, 109. If we're to go by that, it meant that because those members defected, whatever members that were remaining at the time become majority, become two-thirds or a third of the House. Because the Constitution did not stipulate how many people makes two-thirds. Yes. It did not state how many number makes two-thirds. So if this number have defected, the ones that are remaining, because now technically we're saying that those ones have lost their seats. That's what you're saying. And the argument people made was those that are remaining would then become the ones that would decide if they meet two-thirds or not. But then if it has been looked at and it says, well, the House is not whole. The House needs to be whole. Some people also would argue that two-thirds is, we at least two-thirds of the total number, not based on whose seat was declared vacant or who was still on seats at the time. And that's the back and forth we've had so far, which is leading us to ask the same question, whether this representation of the budget is one thing that perhaps not being done would continue to cause what we are seeing with regards to the relationship between the executive and the legislature. Kelechi Williams says, my question is, what did the governor do to warrant the impeachment process? Well, so far, we haven't heard. I'm pretty sure. Like I said when we started the conversation, the Speaker of the House would perhaps in the future furnish us with details as to what appointments that were made, because he mentioned appointments, and what other gross misconduct the governor had involved in that will warrant. Because if you look at the process, it's clearly stipulated on some of the things that need to be in place to impeach a governor. Well, let's get to the phone lines. 0817 923 0002 0817 923 0003. Remember, the simple question, your description. How do you describe the impeachment threats by the Speaker of the State Assembly? We're back to where we were some months ago. 0817 923 0007 0817 923 0002 0817 923 0003. Now, all of these numbers are the ones you can call to join us on the conversation this morning. The WhatsApp number is 0809 030 6416. We start with JJ from Rumigbo. Good morning, JJ.
Yeah, Andrew, good morning.
Go on.
And let me greet your guest, Andrew.
Thank you, JJ.
Andrew, when Adams Dabo through Dima was the interim speaker or speaker of the River State House of Assembly, how many members were remaining in the assembly? Because if you're talking about two-thirds and all those, when the assembly fully reconvened after the rerun, did they revoke whatever Adams presided over? That is one question. And what I know about division in a party is when they have a parallel secretariat, double chairman like you have in the case of Labour Party and even the Rivers APC at the time. That is what the Constitution describes as party having problem. The chairman, not from secretary, and there was not even an item of problem as at the time these guys moved out of their own party. And somebody also sent a message saying that the court said the governor should represent. Don't also forget that at the time that budget was passed, a very legitimate court also approved it at the end of the day. So what are we talking about here? Why did the assembly people not withdraw their case as one of the conditions, but you want the governor to just come and take everything hook, line, and sinker? There are constitutional provisions in this area, and it will not violate the constitution because it wants to satisfy everybody.
All right. Susie from Erema, good morning.
Andrew, good morning.
Good morning.
If we go by virtue of the resolution made by by the president and all we have, I think the governor also failed by not withdrawing his own case that is advocating. The day that matter was called, the counsel to the governor said that his client has never asked
Susie, sorry to interrupt you, but what we're discussing is, let's just, because of the time and because we need to be precise, the question is how you describe the impeachment threats by the Speaker of the State Assembly. That is the conversation. So so that we can save time.
Okay. So no, the impeachment note are offered by the House of Assembly. For me, I stumble for it because even the lawyer in the studio will understand that even the gross misconduct as offered by section 148, subsection 11. It is only in the onus of the governor to approach the court because it is the House of Assembly that have the understanding of what gross misconduct is all about. And I'm referring, don't also forget that by the notice offered to the governor by the House of Assembly River State, the answer has been provided. It was when the answer has been said that the governor is coming to say, what have I done? You're asking a question after an act has been given. They give you a notice and saying that gross misconduct. And people are saying, what have I done to that effect? Section 148, subsection 11, speak about what gross misconduct means all about. So anybody who believes that the House of Assembly River State does not have the onus when it is in the Constitution that the House can impeach, suppose the governor goes against the constitutionality of his office. And to the extent we understand the River State today, I understand the governor has gone beyond the constitutionality of his office, and he is supposed to be impeached, the House of Assembly members, not just by ordinary threat. The law in the studio should explain better.
All right, Susie.
To this effect, and
thank you.
It's not right to say that they cannot impeach him.
All right, thank you very much. All right, before I get to my guest to respond, because you quoted a section of the Constitution, so we'll look at it and then see what it says. But let me just also put out this. At the time, the former governor of Bayelsa State was impeached. These were the gross misconducts that were outlined. Alleged corruption includes theft of public funds, abuse of office, and money laundering. So now to what you said.
Is that 148?
Because he was saying that the assembly has the powers to decide what is gross misconduct. Is that what it said?
148.
Yes.
148. There is no subsection 11 in 148 or the 1999 Constitution. Rather, it ended on 1 and 2 and 2C. So where is the 148 he's quoting from? Where is it? So let him quote the relevant section of the Constitution. 148 ended on subsection 1 and 2 and 2C. So he's not here.
All right. Cookie Gam from Remolumeni, good morning.
Andrew, good morning.
Yeah, go on, Cookie Gam.
I'm happy New Month. Andrew, this problem River State about constitutional law. Andrew, where is the voice of Professor Zaki Asadango and the General Commissioner of Justice? And for the past 5 months now,
and the General of River State, Chief Adango, learned professor, senior advocate of Nigeria, the Chief of Law of River State, had been quiet in River State, Andrew. Andrew, please, I want you to invite Professor Adango to our station, asking questions about this because he's the Chief Law Officer of River State. Invite Adango to come to our station to explain to River State what is the problem because he's the Chief Law Officer of River State. Please, Andrew. Andrew, about you again. Andrew, I'm bothered of this assembly for the past months now have been against the governor. Till today, I don't know their problem. What has the governor done? Is that the governor from another Ijaw tribe or not Ijaw tribe? How is what I do like this? Please, I want to beg Rivers people. I want to beg Ijaw nation to stand for this governor of Ijaw tribe because this is the first time after 24 years and Ijaw man is the governor of Rivers State. So what's happening to him now? Andrew, it bothers me to see a lot happening in Rivers State because the job of our governor of Rivers State, please, invite them to go and tell us what's the problem of Rivers State. Andrew, good morning.
Victor from Remo Krushi, we'll hear from you and then we'll go to George in Buguma. Okay. Good morning, Victor.
Andrew, good morning.
Yeah, go on.
And happy new month.
Go ahead.
If you ask me, from that your question is that this man has lost the people. So what they are doing there, they are just making noise. They are looking for the way out, or let me put it there. They are seeking for, in short, when they sit and say stay and look for what to do, they don't see. They will just come out and make some statement that will bring people into people will start making some argument. Because if you ask me.
Oh, goodness me. Victor, please do well to call back. George in Buguma, good morning.
Yes, Andrew, I greet you and your guest in the studio. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Andrew.
Yes.
Now, if somebody believes that a competent court of law has given judgment that budget should be represented in the House. Now, Andrew, somebody also still believes that cannot happen. That because before the governor presented that budget, that another competent court of jurisdiction has also given judgment in favor of the former speaker, Edison, who is now the chief of staff, to receive that budget from the governor. You understand? He has given judgment that Edison is duly recognized as the speaker as of then. And also, that the law also said that in absence of two-thirds majority of the House, that any number, whether 4, 5 to 11, can form a quorum. Now, as of that time, when the budget was represented by the governor to the speaker, now the law recognized that the only reserved legitimative, legally recognized lawmakers were in the House to receive that budget from the governor. So the governor, as it were now, currently does not have any problem with the House of Assembly.
Can we?
But they are in a showdown with the governor. As I speak to you, they are just in a showdown with the governor. Now, I also want you to know that the governor has said that he will fulfill the 8-point agenda, but to only the one that is contrary to the law and who is inimical to the people of Rivers State, that he cannot assent to. That is just the position of the truth.
All right, George, thank you. But just so we save the time, we don't beat around the bush too much. Directly to what the question is, we'll get your response, okay? Because if you have to beat around, you would exhaust your time, and we have other callers on the line that we need to attend to. How do you describe the impeachment threats by the Speaker of the State Assembly? We heard him. I put the excerpt from the news, and you heard what he said could be the last resort, impeachment. Omeni from LLN1, good morning. Let's hear from you quickly.
Yeah, I'm blessed.
Go ahead.
I say you are blessed.
Oh, thank you. Go on.
Yes, I think the governor shot himself on his foot, beginning of this. There might be agreement he might have reached with his master. I wouldn't away after 1 month. He exposed him.
Omeni, quickly. Omeni, sorry to interrupt you. We don't know whatever agreements they had in closed door before elections. What we know now is that the Speaker of the House has said impeachment could be the last resort if the governor allegedly continues to falter with regards to the provisions of the law. So we're asking you of your opinion to that statement. What do you make of the talks about impeachment of the governor? Do you think he has done something that requires him to be impeached, or that requires impeachment?
They would have not asked to impeach him, but he must have not completed the 8-point agenda, 8-point agreement, which remains to represent the budget. Since everything has gone bad, let him continue whatever agreement to fulfill all. I think that's the only thing he can do, or join it. That's my own.
All right, Omeni, fulfill the agreements in its entirety or join the APC. He says perhaps when he does that, we would see a different reaction from the assembly. That's his thoughts about it. Only the assembly will tell us what their own view and what their grouse is at the moment. Alozie from Omuma, good morning.
Good morning, if you hear me.
Okay, good morning. Go on.
Let me be precise to the question. So the best of my knowledge, the information I have, since the inception of I have seen anything he has done to parade the impeachment process. If you will recall, during the political turmoil in River State, that was last year, the governor asked question, tell me what is my offense, why you want to impeach me. Today, Martin Samsule has never answered that question. Let me say this. These approaches that Martin Samsule is carrying out with the rest 27 of them, they want to create a political tension in River State that will result to security and some things which will be people in the state. And I pray it should not come. For crying out loud, people are making laws in order to that will start they are taking the River State is dragging political tussle. They should tell their paymaster and their boss, the minister, the Minister of FCT, the time has come. They should realize that they have a government who they should pay allegiance and loyalty to. You don't understand that. I think it's dragging until they are able. I'm behind him. That people is still behind him.
All right,
because the man has done. He promoted servants following the controversial 100 added to people. Projects have been going on. So what is the man doing? He didn't do anything wrong. I think.
All right, Alozie. Thank you very much. Before we wrap up, a few messages. I'll take one more call. Okay, no, we don't have. I don't think we have the time for one more call, so I just take a few messages. House of Assembly in the state should stop threatening the governor with impeachment. Rivers people would not accept it. It's reckless. King, you sent that one. As Somiari says, Rivers State Assembly members are big jokers. Any attempt to resume this impeachment process against the governor will be vehemently resisted. Alfred from Somiari, you sent that one. Smart says, says, until court speaks on the defection matter, every other speaker is just making noise. Until the court speaks, the House of Assembly is valid and all actions are lawful. SC and Godwin, that's from you. Unfortunately, Lugard from HA, we don't have enough time to attend to that call, so we apologize. We can't take it. We're already out of time. We have less than 3 minutes. You heard the callers, but importantly is also this. The lawmakers making some of the laws that they make now and acting in some of the ways they're acting is within their rights to do that as lawmakers. But why do you think people still do not respect it? Some people have referred most times to their past antecedents and said, you were there in the house when some of these things were happening, some of these actions. You did not act like this. You didn't come up. Obviously. Is it now people questioning the moral standpoint of the lawmakers as against their constitutional duty? Is that what this is about?
Well, let me say that the call by the House of Assembly is quite uncalled for. We in River State, we need to put an end to this undemocratic.
To thrive. All right, go on.
We need to put an end to this undemocratic tendency, because the governor actually mean well for the people of River State. And what the House of Assembly should do, they should work in synergy with the governor of the state. It's not by threatening, you want to impeach, you want to do this. But they were, just like the callers were saying, there were certain issues in the previous administration certain appointments in the previous administration. Why didn't they look into it? That you think now, oh, what the governor is doing is not. No, I think the best way for us to move ahead is to be a synergy between the governor, the executive, and the legislative arms, so that we can all move Rivers State forward.
All
so
right.
the call for impeachment is uncalled for.
All right.
It's uncalled for, totally uncalled for.
Adeoji Okosisi says constitutional process of impeachment is not easygoing because you must follow due process, not
follow due process
by mere political hate. Secondary court has a true role to play when the need arises. Briggs David says if they try it, Rivers State people will regret it. Pedro says the governor doesn't have any judgment justifying legitimacy of him presenting that budget. Which court gave the judgment? Well, everybody's got an opinion. Let's wait and see how this plays out. With regards to the legality of the lawmakers, at the moment they are the lawmakers. The speaker is the speaker. The House of Assembly exists until the court says otherwise. So let's respect that as well. And the governor is still the governor of Rivers State. That doesn't change, and we'll respect that as well. Thank you very much for your time, Mr. Philip Okparaji.
Thank you.
My name is Ifeami Andrew. Jude is already ready for you this morning, 1st of April. I'm pretty sure, I'll give you a hint. I'm pretty sure Jude has one April Fool game for you guys. So be careful. Watch out. I'm telling you first. My name is Ifeami Andrew on all social media platforms. Thank you again, and enjoy the rest of the show.